Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Yasharallah. Kol Haloyim La, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakakudash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith and the work shall keep at it. This your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. Alright, so this is the book of First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 52 says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Alright, so what brought this on was just everyday activities, man. You know, getting up, going to work, whether you hurt, sick, or whatever, because you got to make ends meet. Getting up in this world and doing whatever it is you got to do, in pain, you know, stressed out, you know, mentally wore down, so forth and so on. But you still got to make, you know, still got to make things shake. And that's because of this world that we living in and the position that we in this world. Right? We in Esau's world according to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 and Job 9:24. We in the hands of our oppressors. Right, according to the curses in Deuteronomy 28. And we're gonna be that way till Shiloh come, man. And that's heavy on the brain, you know. Scripture says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Right? So yeah, that's oppression is something serious. But it's understood that one of these days the pain that we feel from going through this oppression will be gone. Right? And the oppression itself will be gone. And the Most High gonna bless us with new bodies, man. Right? So to finish this out, it says, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and read verse 53 again. It says, for this incorruptible, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Right? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. Right? But thanks be the power which giveth us the victory through our Adawan Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Right? Or the word. Right? And what does the word say the Most High is going to do? Right? To his people. Let me see. Okay, so this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, and verse 8. It says, for finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the day is come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Right, notice it don't go to naming no other nations outside of Yasharallah. Right, because Judah is a part of Yasharallah, but this specifically speaking about the northern and the southern kingdom. Right, it says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. Why? Because we in this carnal flesh. We in this corruptible flesh. Right? That's what's attached to the first covenant, man. It's the Most High putting it in our hands to, you know, follow his word. And we can't do it because we in this flesh. Our spirit man wants to do it. Right? Like Paul was saying, things that his spirit wants to do, his body does not do. And it's the same for all of us. Right? And we just got to deal with it because of this flesh, because of these bodies that we're in, these bodies that keep us in pain, ached up at the joints, right? Throbbing in the head. We have to battle with these things on a day-to-day basis, right? But it says, Verse 10, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said Yahweh. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. Right? That's new bodies. That's a new mind that come with that new body. Right? That new body that won't see death because we won't know sin. Right? Made how our forefather Adam, right, was supposed to be incorruptible, bro. Right? When wasn't supposed to know death. Sin brought death. It continues to do so to this day. Right? Verse 11, it says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Right? For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Right? So that's what we're looking forward to. Right? And like Abba said, man, it won't be, nobody will be saying know the Lord anymore because it'll be already understood. And that's not just with, you know what I'm saying, Yasharala. Every nation on this planet gonna know who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is. Right? Go to Jeremiah 16. And let me see. Yeah, it's Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Right? The whole world gonna understand exactly who Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is, and they also gonna understand who the Most High's people are, which is us, you so-called blacks, you so-called Hispanics, you so-called Native Americans, and all our brethren around the world, because the Most High is gonna bless us with new bodies. Right? We go to the book of Matthew 24 and verse 31. Right? And with these new bodies, we're gonna be able to do some things. You understand? So this is the book of Matthew 24 and 31. It says, and he shall send his angel, matter of fact, Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, which are the chariots, with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Right? And that's going to be during the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. Right? The Most High going to call for his people to enter into them chariots. You can't get in, you're not getting in them chariots in this carnal flesh, because the chariots are angels, they're spirits. Right? Balls of fire, you know, energy. It's not a vessel that this carnality can get into. Right? Let me go to the book of Revelation, chapter 15. And verse 1. It says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of power. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of power. Right? And they sing the song of Mashah, the servant of power, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh power almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Right? That's the Most High's people looking down at the destruction of the daughter of Babylon from the chariots, man. Right? But like I said, man, the chariots are the Lord, our angels. Right? Let me see. One second. Psalms chapter 68 and verse 17 says, the chariots of power are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Yahweh is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. All right, so the chariots are not vessels that human beings in wicked flesh can step into. His chariots are angels, they're powers. Right? So that means that when we receive our new bodies, they're gonna be on some whole nother level type stuff. Right? Let me go to the book of Isaiah 26 and verse 20. It says, come my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. Right? That little moment is just that, a moment. Because the Most High is going to unleash his people back on the earth with new bodies to retrieve what's due. Right? Verse 21, for behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Right? Like I said, it's only in them chariots but for a moment, because this is the book of Jeremiah 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. Right? That's when we receive our new bodies, man. Coming back for that ass. Right? We go to the book of Isaiah 14. Right? Isaiah 14 from the top says, for Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Right? So, daughter Babylon is the main target of their destruction. Right? Israel, the place where them people that claim to be us, they are part of it too, according to Ezekiel 38. Right? But the surrounding nations that have the Most High's people, right? That's the strangers that will be joined with the house of Yasharallah, right? When you go into, Paul's writings and he speaks about the Gentiles, those Gentiles are Israel, right? Israelites that are following heathen customs, right? That believe themselves to be the surrounding nations, right? But at this time, what we're reading about in Isaiah 14, the elect of the Most High's people will join themselves back to Yasharallah, right? Verse 2 says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, right? That's us with our new bodies, Yasharallah, full-fledged, back together again, under the new covenant, right? Not sinning anymore, receiving what's due to us by the word of the Most High, right? Because the Most High said, ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen for an inheritance, right? It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and shall rule over their oppressors. Right? And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Those are the curses. So when the new covenant comes into full effect, there will be no more curses, like it says in Revelation chapter 22. Right? No more curse. Right? Let me go to the book of Isaiah, chapter. Actually, Jeremiah. Salat. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 51, and verse 19 says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance, Yahweh of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And it goes on to a whole list of what the Most High is going to use these new bodies for, right? A straight and utter destruction, right? Gonna go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25, and verse 14. And the main individual that's gonna receive this ass whooping from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? And Yasharallah is Esau Edom, right? It says in Ezekiel 25 and verse 13, actually Ezekiel 25 and verse 12, thus saith Yahweh power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people, Israel, Yasharallah. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger, and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh power. So the anger that we feel, like it says in Ecclesiastes 7:7, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, it pales in comparison to the spirit of anger and rage that the Most High is going to place on his people with these new bodies to tear up the heathens that's round about, especially Esau Edom, right? So it's going to get to a point to where we're not worried about no ailing bodies, man. We're not worried about no aching joints and headaches and whatever other ailments that we have, different diseases, and whatever we have that basically keeps us in a certain state of hell, right, in this world. One of these days it will be over, right, and we'll receive our whole new bodies, and we won't have to worry about pain anymore, right? Let me go to the book of Revelation 21, and let me see. Revelation 21 from the top. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Now, that's not literally talk about the earth being destroyed. It's talking about the earth being renewed, right? new rulership, right? Under new management, right? It says, and I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from power out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Right? Once again, these chariots, man. The chariots of the Lord, man. It says, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of power is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and power himself shall be with them, and be their power. And power shall wipe away all tears, so that all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. Right? Yahweh said it, so it's going to happen. Right? Right? So I am with that, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Sharatazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakakodash. To keep the faith, Yasharallah. Shalom.